Or so I tried. When it's quiet in that apartment, you can really hear everything. Conversations, footsteps, laughing, everything.
Everything, you know what I'm saying? People getting nasty up in there, you gonna hear all that shit. That's tough, honestly. That's actually really kind of disgusting. If
Ever since I moved, I haven't had anything weird happen since. I'm just really glad that thing never followed me to my new house.
that's a fact.
Thank God for that.
It's Bigfoot. Ouch. What's good, y'all? So in this video, I'm gonna be reacting to scary animated Home Alone story. Bro, I don't remember the title. Whatever. Basically, it's like animated horror stories about people being home alone. You feel me? I'm home alone. Anyways, because I be getting scared so easy, I got my sage. Y'all already know I always have my sage. Watch any scary video on this page, you'll see my sage. And I got a lighter, obviously, to light my sage. So anyways, I think I'm good though. The energy right now feels it feels pretty good, but if I light it, just know I'm getting like weird vibes or scared or whatever. So anyways, let's just get into it.
Living in a duplex with my family.
Y'all already know that it's just too loud because I always do that.
Which consists of 3 younger brothers, all under 5, my 18-year-old sister, and my mother and father. About 3 years ago, when we lived in our old apartment, I was home alone for the entire day. This was pretty normal as my father worked in the summer. My mom would
I'm not even gonna lie to you. So I used to stay home alone a lot when I lived at my old house. When I was younger, like 9, 10 or whatever. Because I had to, because my mama worked and my brother worked too. So I stayed home alone a lot in the summer. That shit was haunted. That shit was fucked up. When I tell you all types of weird shit was happening consistently, and even other people were saying that other people didn't even believe in ghosts. It was too many people saying that shit, and all this shit. It would be like little shit would happen to other people, like, oh, a glass fell. Oh, I don't know, some minor shit. For me, it would be like the most ridiculous shit, like shit getting like thrown or doors slamming. I was just like, bro, what the fuck? You feel me? I'm a kid, so I was just really confused. You know, now I don't know. Some people don't believe in the ghost shit. That shit real, bro. That shit is definitely real. But you know what? Whatever.
take the kids out to do things like swimming and other things like that. I usually just slept in, and I had a small list of chores that I had to do during the day before everyone came home. One of those happened to be laundry. The way that the apartment is set up is on each level there's about 20 places where people live, and only one laundry room shared amongst us.
Right.
I lived a few doors down from it, and I had to pass the door to the stairs in order to get to it, which that door had a little window. I was going to throw the clothes from the washer into the dryer when I then heard a clicking noise. I wasn't really sure what it was, but for a second I decided to listen before it then stopped. I was always really freaked out from that apartment, and this definitely wasn't helping. I finished throwing the laundry into the dryer and then started it. Then I started walking down the hall when I then heard that same clicking noise yet again. I froze. It sounded like it was coming from the stairwell. So as scared as I was, I looked out the window, and to my surprise, I didn't see anyone. Really relieved, I booked it down the hall to my apartment. I closed and locked the door, going about the day again, or so I tried. When it's quiet in that apartment, you can really hear everything. Conversations, footsteps, laughing, everything.
Everything, you know what I'm saying? People getting nasty up in there, you gonna hear all that shit. That's tough, honestly. That's actually really kind of disgusting if we're like, cause I live in an apartment, and I mean they moved out, but it was a couple, and they did what they did. That's all I'm gonna say. But one thing to note is they were loud as shit. honestly, it won't even hurt. He was the one that was loud as a bitch. I was like, bro, you ain't putting in no work. I can't hear her. Anyways.
especially from the hallway, and that's where the most crap was heard. I was in the kitchen feeding my animals when I heard slow, heavy footsteps in the hall. It sounded like they were coming down the hall right outside of the apartment. I decided to run to the living room and mute the TV so that I could listen, when I then heard 3 loud bangs at my door. I was kind of crapping my pants at this point, not really knowing what to do. I kept the TV muted and slowly moved my way to the door, looking out the peephole. I was horrified at what I saw.
Bitch.
It was a black figure standing with its back towards me.
I thought that's
I didn't know what to do, and I was frozen in
That's
place.
racist.
And then, I then heard a familiar sound. That same bizarre clicking sound that I heard before. I noped the hell out of there and grabbed my animals, then hid in my room. I mean, I was really scared, but I was starting to wonder if it was really nothing. I usually listen to scary stories just like these to scare the crap out of me, but maybe something was actually there. Later in the evening, when my sister arrived home, I told her about what I saw because she's really into supernatural things like that. When I told her what I saw, the color from her face ran away. She said something along the lines of seeing that same figure, but in dark rooms and hallways, not lit ones. The next time I encountered it, I was sleeping on the bottom bunk and my sister in the top. The clock read 3:37 a.m., the fan was going, and the nightlight was plugged in. My sister was sound asleep at this point. I heard the clicking again, but this time quieter and from under the bed. One of my cats on my bed didn't seem to notice it, so I figured maybe I was just imagining it. That was until I then noticed a long black, bony cold arm, then reach out and start making its way right up to my bed. I then yelped, enough to wake up my sister, but no one else. Pretty groggily, she just tells me to shut up and that she's trying to sleep. But you gotta see this, I say as I look down and notice the thing's gone now. I didn't catch an ounce of sleep that night. I have lots of other terrifying stories from that hellhole apartment, but I think most of them revolve around that thing. Ever since I moved, I haven't had anything weird happen since. I'm just really glad that thing never followed me to my new house.
That's a fact.
Thank God for that.
It's Bigfoot. Ouch.
One night I was watching The Conjuring at home with my little sister.
No, not The Conjuring. If you knew what I meant. Like, okay, so I watched The Conjuring last week. And then, like, we was chilling. We was just watching a movie, whatever. But then, I and somebody decided to watch, like, a house tour of The Conjuring, you know? It's like Sam and Colby, their YouTube channel, decided to watch their little tour of the Conjuring house, and it just, shit got weird. Shit got real weird. The energy, the vibe, when we was watching the regular movie, just the movie, it was a movie, nothing happened. When they was in the house, that shit had shit acting up in my house, bro. My chakra bracelet that I don't have on, so I don't really know why I lifted up my arm. It literally just broke. It was on my wrist and just all broke off, right? So then my friend looked up why that happens, and it's like when there's too much negative energy in the room or on you, that's what happens to like crystal bracelets or chakra bracelets. It's like chakra bracelets are to help your energy and positivity and balance and blah, whatever. So that was just really interesting, because then when I was watching it and they were in like one of the really, really bad rooms, I started feeling like really hot in the back of my neck. And at first I just thought it was like anxiety. Like I was just like, bro, I'm just tripping. But I wasn't scared, to be honest. I wasn't really that scared. But that shit was just really, really weird. Like it felt like something was like on the back of my neck, touching the back of my neck, that was hot. And I just started thinking I had a fever too. And so I took my temperature, no fever. That shit was just really, like I said, weird. I burned sage, did a couple other things, and it obviously like I felt way better. But yeah, and then the person that I was watching it with, they were watching it at their house and we were like on the phone. He said the same thing. Like, he was like, there was weird shit happening, bro. Like I said, I don't know what you believe in, peoples that's watching me right now, but that shit's crazy. That shit is real. Don't play with it.
We heard someone putting a key in our front door, as well as opening it. We were sitting in the living room next to a sliding door that was also very close to the front door, so we both heard it very clearly. Now, this didn't really alarm us since we knew that our dad had recently gone out to get some things, so we kind of just assumed that maybe he had returned. "Dad, you're back already?" I casually asked. There was no response. Dad, are you there?"
By the way, I think I recorded 2 stories, so I believe this is the second one.
I asked yet again, thinking he hadn't heard me the first time. Once again, just silence. Right at this point, I'm starting to get the feeling that something isn't quite right, and I could tell by the look on my sister's face that she was just as nervous as I was. We started to look at each other for a brief moment, wondering what we should do, before we started hearing a few more scattering sounds from right outside the sliding door. By this stage, I was frozen in fear. I tried one more time in a louder but shakier voice. "Dad, is that you?" But the silence continued. Now at this point I'm freaking out and I literally jump right off the couch. My sister also abruptly gets up and starts rapidly walking to the other end of the room, which leads to the kitchen area. She later revealed to me that she was planning on grabbing a knife. She had this horrified look on her face that I hadn't ever seen before. We just looked at each other in nervous silence. I didn't really know what to do and I didn't want to make any further sounds. I finally decided to walk up to the sliding door and began opening it as slowly as possible, now peering into the darkness. When the door was finally open wide enough, I poked my head out and scanned the corridor, now preparing for the worst. To my surprise, there was no one there, but what was more strange was that the front door was still completely shut. My sister and I were obviously both extremely relieved, as we were almost certain that there was an intruder in our house. After this, I immediately went to go and ask my mom if it was her or whether she had noticed anything. She told me that she thought my dad had come home as well, and she also heard someone opening the front door. Around a half an hour later, which felt like an eternity at the time, as we were still quite shaken from the incident, my dad finally arrived home and he confirmed to us that he hadn't returned home earlier. To this day, my sister and I still have no idea what happened that night, and I guess we never will.
Wait, how are y'all today? Anyways, like I said, the paranormal shit is very, 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 very weird and uncomfortable, and just just not it. So I definitely understand when people have experiences and they are freaked out by it or traumatized or whatever. But I definitely believe in it, right? So whenever somebody tells me some shit, I'm not like, man, you're tripping. I'm not like, bro, okay. Well, let's talk about what we gonna do next, because it's always, if you watch them scary movies, it's always one mofo in there that's doubting it all, and then mofos start dying, and they're like, oh my god, I believe you now, but bitch, you late, So, like I said, I definitely always pretty much believe somebody if some weird shit is happening. But anyways, like I said before, I like these kinds of stories. I like thrillers, horrors, all that shit. I just get scared. But it's okay, because I got my sage, so I'll be okay. But anyways, y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. I'll see you in the next one.